Have you ever dreamed about someone you've never seen before and woke up wondering, who was that person? The face looked so real, but at the same time, you were sure you'd never seen it in your life. The strangest thing? Days later, you meet someone identical to the one in your dream. Coincidence? Or did your brain know something you didn't already know? In this video, you'll discover that your brain may be storing memories you can't even imagine, that dreams may be hidden messages trying to warn you about something, and that for some people, these encounters aren't just dreams. They're real experiences that happen in another dimension. Science has explanations for this. Spirituality too. But none of them answers all the questions. After all, why do we keep dreaming about people we've never seen? What does this really mean? Stay until the end, because you'll leave here with your head bursting with theories, and maybe you'll even start looking at your dreams in a completely different way. Imagine this. You are dreaming, and suddenly someone appears who you have never seen in your life. A completely unknown face. But here comes the question. Is this person really a stranger? Many people believe that the brain has the ability to create faces out of thin air, as if it were an artist inventing characters in a book. But the truth is, your brain doesn't work like that. You can't just create a completely new face from scratch. So, who are these people that appear in your dreams? The answer may be stranger than it seems. Your brain is an incredible storage machine. It keeps everything you see, even without realizing it. The supermarket cashier who served you for 3 seconds, someone who passed you on the street and you didn't even notice, a face that appeared in a commercial while you were scrolling through your cell phone. All of this is recorded deep in your mind. And when you dream, your subconscious can pull this information and play these faces into your dream story, as if it were a movie. But there's an interesting detail in all of this. Sometimes these faces appear in a way you don't recognize because the brain doesn't keep them exactly as they were. You can mix traits, combine different elements, change some characteristics. In other words, that person who seems like a complete stranger could, in fact, be a puzzle of faces that you have already seen, but that your brain has reorganized in a new way. Now, this raises an even more intriguing question. Why do some of these people appear in dreams and others don't? Does the brain choose these images by chance? Or is there a reason for this? Some research suggests that faces that appear in dreams may be linked to emotional memories. Maybe that person you saw for a second was in a moment when your brain captured something significant. An expression, a look, a detail that caught your attention without you even realizing it. And there's one more curious factor. Some people report dreaming about strangers who seem extremely real, with details so precise that it seems as if they really knew that person. But if the brain doesn't create faces, that means that somehow you've seen that face before, even if it was just for a moment. This means that technically, you never dream about a completely unfamiliar face. There is always an origin for it, even if it is hidden in your memory. Before continuing, if you've ever had strange dreams and want to discover their hidden meanings, sign up now. Every week, we reveal mysteries of the subconscious that no one tells you. Don't miss the next video. Let's go. Now that you know that your brain doesn't invent faces out of thin air, the next question comes, if it already has all these images stored, why doesn't it use the faces exactly as they are? Why does he take pieces of different people and create these strange figures that appear in his dreams? The answer lies in the way your mind processes information while you sleep. Your brain never stops working. Even when you are completely blacked out, it continues organizing memories, connecting ideas, and trying to make sense of what you experienced during the day. And in this process, he may end up mixing different faces without you noticing. This happens because the brain doesn't store each face as a perfect, intact photo. He keeps separate details, an eye shape here, a type of smile there, a haircut from someone else. And when it comes to creating a dream, he can take these fragments and put them together in a new way. It's like an image editor, combining different elements to form a new character. But why does he do this? Because dreams are not a simple repetition of what you saw during the day. They're a mix of memories, emotions, and thoughts, all jumbled together in a way that doesn't always make sense. The brain isn't concerned with maintaining reality in dreams. It wants to process information resolve internal conflicts, and sometimes test different scenarios. Therefore, if you had a quick interaction with someone and it wasn't that important to you, your brain may not store the whole person, but rather some striking features. Later, when you dream, he can use these fragments to compose a new image, a face that seems unknown, but which, in fact, is a mixture of several people who have gone unnoticed throughout your life. And there's an interesting detail about this. The more abstract and messy your dream is, the greater the chance that these faces are a collage of several features. Your subconscious is simply trying to fill in the gaps in a creative way. Now, what does this mean in practice? That the strange faces that appear in your dreams are not so strange after all. They may be a reflection of faces your brain has already seen, but which it has rearranged to fit the narrative of your dream. So, the next time you dream about someone who seems like a complete stranger, try to remember, isn't there something familiar there? Maybe that person's look is similar to that of a coworker. The smile is that of a store attendant who sold you something a few days ago, or even the way they speak reminds you of someone you passed on the street without realizing it. Your brain takes these loose pieces and creates a new picture, which is why you dream about people you think you've never met. Now, what if I told you that not everyone believes that these faces are just fragments of your memory? For some people, the strangers that appear in dreams are not just a construct of the brain, but something much bigger. Since ancient times, cultures around the world have believed that dreams can be a form of communication between the spiritual world and our own. And within this belief, there is the idea that some of the figures we encounter while we sleep could be spirits trying to give us a message. But how would this work? For those who believe in the occult, dreams are a kind of portal, a time when our mind is free from everyday distractions and more open to energies we normally ignore. Spiritists, occultists, and even some religions say that when we sleep, our soul partially detaches from the body and can come into contact with other dimensions. And it is at this moment that some believe that spirits can appear. Now, if this theory is real, who would these people be that appear in your dreams? Some interpretations say they may be lost souls, spirits that still wander between worlds and try to communicate in some way. Others believe that they may be spiritual guides or even people who have passed away and want to give you a warning. But one of the most intriguing details of this belief is that, in many accounts, people dream of unknown figures who seem to be trying to say something, but without saying anything. They just look, make gestures, or convey a strong feeling. And that's where the interpretations begin. Some say that these dreams could be warning messages, signs that something is coming, or even a cry for help from someone who has already left. Now, before you dismiss this as superstition, there's something curious. Throughout history, many people have reported dreaming about strangers and then meeting them in real life. Some of these experiences were so specific that even those who don't believe in the supernatural were intrigued. Coincidence? Or do dreams really have a greater connection with something we can't explain? Be that as it may, the fact is that for those who believe in the spiritual world, dreaming about a stranger is never by chance. It could be a message, a meeting, or even a visit from someone on the other side. And here comes the question. Was that face that appeared in your dream really never in your life? But did it just come from a different place than you imagined? Now, what if those unfamiliar faces that appear in your dreams weren't just forgotten memories or spiritual messages? What if, in fact, they were a vision of the future? It may seem like something from a movie, but many people have been through this. They dreamed of someone they had never seen before, and days, months, or even years later, they met that person in real life. And it wasn't a vague resemblance. They recognized exact details. The face, the way he spoke, the clothes, even the place where the meeting took place. But how would this be possible? Can dreams predict the future? So-called premonitory dreams have always been a mystery. There are amazing stories throughout history. People who dreamed of disasters before they happened, who saw specific moments in their lives before experiencing them, and, of course, who met strangers first in their dreams and then in the real world. Science still cannot fully explain these cases. Some researchers suggest it might just be a trick of memory, something you saw before and forgot about, until your brain reconstructed that information in the dream. But this does not explain the reports of people who dreamed with precise details of situations that have not yet happened. Another theory is that the brain, while we sleep, is always processing information and making predictions. It can pick up on patterns that you don't even consciously notice and somehow create a scenario that later ends up becoming reality, as if it were an extremely accurate guess based on details that went unnoticed. But there are those who believe that premonitory dreams are something far beyond science. Some spiritual philosophies say that during sleep, our mind accesses different dimensions where time does not work as it does in reality. In other words, what we call the future would already be happening in some way, and dreams would be a glimpse of it. Regardless of the explanation, the fact is that many people have had the experience of dreaming about someone and, sometime later, meeting that person exactly as in the dream. Coincidence or not, this leads us to an intriguing question. Are we just living through the days as they happen? Or is it that, somehow, our future is already written and dreams are a way of seeing it ahead of time? Now, what if these strangers who appear in your dreams weren't creations of your mind, but rather real people you met on another plane? There is a theory that suggests that, while we sleep, our consciousness can detach from the body and travel to other dimensions. This phenomenon is known as astral projection or out-of-body experience. Those who have experienced this describe the sensation of floating, seeing their own body, sleeping, and even exploring places they have never seen before. And one of the most intriguing details of these experiences is meeting strangers. Many people report extremely vivid dreams where they talk to strangers, visit places full of details, and feel that the experience was real. But what makes these reports even more mysterious is that, in some cases, two people who know each other claim to have had the same dream, in the same place, and remember exactly what was said. How would this be possible? For some spiritual traditions, the physical world is not the only reality that exists. During sleep, our mind is freed from the limitations of the body and can access other planes of existence. And in these planes, we can find people who are also projected, be they other living people or even spiritual beings. Now, think about this. If your spirit really can travel while you sleep, who are these people you meet? Could it be other consciousnesses that are dreaming at the same time? Or could you be accessing parallel realities? Some people claim that they have dreamed of a stranger, had a clear conversation, and days later, met that person in real life, with the same features, the same voice, the same way of speaking. This raises the possibility that perhaps these encounters are not just dreams, but rather real experiences happening on a level we cannot yet understand. Whatever the case, one thing is certain. Dreams about strangers remain one of the greatest mysteries of the human mind. Are they just figments of our imagination? Or is it that, while we sleep, we are exploring places we never even imagined and meeting people who, in some way, are already part of our journey? After all this, the big question remains: who are these people who appear in your dreams? Are they just fragments of your memory, symbols from your subconscious, messages from beyond, or have you really met someone in another dimension? The truth is that no matter how much science tries to explain dreams, there are still mysteries that defy any logical explanation. Maybe your brain is just organizing information while you sleep. Or perhaps there is something much greater that we do not yet understand, an access to realities that go beyond time and space. And you? Have you ever dreamed of someone you didn't know and then met that person in real life? Ever had a dream so real it seemed like more than just imagination? Tell me in the comments. I want to know your experience. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because here we explore the mysteries of the mind and subconscious like no one else. And of course, leave a like to help this video reach more people. See you next time.